Trolls in Minecraft, something that's been around since the dawn of Minecraft. Here is how to troll your friends using only enchantments. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and the first troll enchantment that I have to talk about is one that is very trolly. If I step up to this dispenser, you'll notice that all of a sudden I have armor on the HUD at the bottom of the screen, and you can see that I am now wearing, enchanted golden armor. Oh, this must be so nice. Oh, it doesn't have any enchants at all. Oh, but now I can't take it off. Curse of binding. What the heck? I'm clicking as hard as I can. Cannot take this armor off. That is what the Curse of Binding does, is it binds it to the player so that they cannot remove the armor. The only way to remove this piece of armor is for it to break naturally from durability or for the player to die, and then it will be removed. Now, if you really, really want to get trolly, you can change your game rule to keep inventory true. This is if you have server access and commands set. And then if you kill the player, they will die and they will still have on the Curse of Binding item, which is that's like next level trolling. Now you do drop it on the ground, just like with any other thing that you die with, it'll kind of splat out in an area. So you now have the Curse of Binding to apply to your worst enemies. Now I've created a simple delivery method for this. This is pretty simple, and lots of people have showed this off before. And all it does is if any type of armor is inside of a dispenser, it will actually dispense it on the player. Now, it only does one dispense per activation, so I'm going to get randomly either any one of these pieces of armor, and it looks like I've been applied the boots there. I'm in creative mode, so it didn't show up on the hotbar down there. But so I've been applied boots, and if I step off, I'll be applied something else. Pants. Is this going to go straight? Oh, there we go. Hat. And then the chest piece. So if you hide a pressure plate and a dispenser, this is how you can quickly apply the Curse of Binding onto a player, as long as they're not already wearing a piece of armor. So if you happen to already have a piece of armor on, I'm going to go ahead and throw this chainmail in here. You'll see that it just dispenses into your hand. So you need to make sure that the player that you're trying to troll doesn't have any armor on. You can get Curse of Binding books from a few different places. You can get them from loot chests, from fishing, and from trading with villagers. So that is how you would actually get this enchantment. Now, I've showed you the basics. Let's take it up a notch to really trolling hard with the Curse of Binding. And we're going to start off with a carved pumpkin. I will switch into survival mode. I'm in creative now, but in survival mode, just to show you that this is possible. Okay, so we've had to switch over to the snapshots in order to show this next feature, because in 1.14.4 there is a bug. But if you want to take your stuff to the next level, like I mentioned, you can add Curse of Binding onto a carved pumpkin. Back over here in the world we were using before, that would mean that the player would have to deal with this vision for a very long time until they died. And if you did the keep inventory thing, there would be no way to remove it if they are in survival mode and not using any type of cheats, because the carved pumpkin does not take any durability, so it would not break in a normal fashion. You can, though, still in survival mode, add this enchantment to other heads, so a dragon head or to a skeleton head. Those are not broken in the current versions, and that way you couldn't take this off and you would look like this all the time to other players, as well as not having anything in your head slot. It's kind of an expensive troll, considering that dragon heads are fairly rare. You need to get them on the same end ships that you get elytra from, but pretty funny troll. And the final Curse of Binding thing that I'm going to show you is very, very, very expensive. This is elytra that has been broken, so it is not useful anymore, and you can add the Curse of Binding onto that. So we have a way to lock out the helmet slot, and now this is a way to lock out your chest slot. So you can throw this in here whenever someone walks over the pressure plate. They will be given this pair of elytra. They look fancy, but they cannot be used as elytra, and they won't break any more than they currently are. So they will be stuck with this pair of elytra until they remove the curse of, until they die. And there is no way to remove a curse of binding. If you use the grindstone, it removes every enchantment except for curses. So there's no way to remove this curse of binding from this elytra. This is like the millionaire's troll, because if you have a pair of elytra, you can just toss away a broken pair of elytra. You're just like, whatever, curse of binding on it, I'm fine. That's insane. So now it is time to test out some of the weapons that you can enchant in order to get some good trolley enchants. And to help me out, I have a genuine bona fide troll here to show off a little bit of what we're going to be talking about. So first, let's talk about flame. Flame is super annoying to deal with unless if you have some water around to put it out real fast. The two ways to get flame on weapons is fire aspect and flame. Fire aspect is only for swords and flame is only for bows. Fire aspect on the sword can be enchanted up to level 2. Level 1 is just a little bit shorter of a duration of the flame of the fire that will be applied to a player. So Troll, go ahead and hit me with the flame bow. There we go. The bow immediately took me down to 3 hearts, and then I'm on fire for a little bit of time. Now switch to fire aspect and go ahead and hit me there. Ooh, ouch. That was 2.5 hearts. And then you can see that I'm on fire. I'll be on fire for a little bit longer because fire aspect 2 does cause that to go on for a little bit of time. So to see what it looks like from my perspective, Troll, get it! There you go. Troll is on fire, not having a good time. And all you have to do is just tap them with your sword. You can even kind of like spam click. So I'm spam clicking over here and just barely tapping them. And you can see that that flame will be applied for the full amount of time. So you don't need to make sure to get your weapon all the way fully charged as the combat update has changed all that. So now let's go ahead and hit him with a arrow. That was a fully powered arrow, but you can spam this if you want. So if I just want to barely tap him, he will also be on fire. Next, we are going to look at Knockback. I have a normal sword here and a Knockback sword here. This is the full Knockback, Knockback 2. So with a normal sword, if you go up and smack a person, we can actually, Troll, go ahead and stand right here on this white block, if you would. Okay, now he's standing on the white block, and we're gonna go ahead and hit Troll, and you can see that he moves back. So there's a block in between. So it's basically moved back 2 blocks. Troll, go ahead and step back up. That was without Knockback applied. Now with Knockback 2, you can see that Troll goes way further. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks away. Knockback is used mostly to get people away from you in a fight. But if you use this on the edge of a cliff, you can knock them back very, very far. Troll, go ahead and hit me with a normal sword. And you can see I get knocked back a bit, but not a ton. Okay, now hit me with that Knockback 2 sword. Coming at you. Bam! Like way far away. This is very useful if you just want to troll your friends and push them around with a Knockback sword. Next, we are going to be talking about Thorns. This is probably one of the trolliest enchantments other than the ones I've already talked about, but Thorns can be super duper annoying. All of these pieces have Thorns 3, and it doesn't really matter what your base armor is. It could be leather armor, and it would give the same amount of damage and annoyance as chainmail or diamond or whatever. Now, what Thorns does is whenever you hit another player, whenever you cause damage to them, and that can be via a punch, a sword swipe, or even a arrow, then a little bit of damage will be affected back to the person who initiated that damage. So if I go ahead and just punch Troll here, you can see that I got hurt by 1 heart just because of that punch. You get that audible sound that's different than any other damage attack in Minecraft. So that is sort of an indicator that you got hurt with trolls and not with trolls. You got hurt with Thorns instead of any other type of enchantment. Punching Troll will do that, and then also the arrows will do the same thing. So it doesn't matter if you are punching, swiping, or arrows. Now, I have Thorns 3 on all of my armor as well. And what that will do is the maximum amount of damage. And there's still a chance that you may not, if I only was to wear one of these pieces, there's still a chance, go ahead and hit me a few times, troll, that time he got hurt, that time he didn't, that time he got hurt. So Thorns will only apply a chance of the attack going through back to the player that hurt you. So by layering Thorns on multiple pieces, you'll have a chance you'll have a greater chance every time that there is an attack made on you for the Thorns to then attack the player again. Now, Thorns will only be used on one piece of armor at a time. So if they punch you and you're hoping, it's going to hit them twice with Thorns because I have 4 pieces of armor, there's a better chance that it's going to double hit them. Well, that never happens. It will only ever apply Thorns from one piece of armor. Now, there is a big downside to Thorns, and that is that durability will be applied to the armor that is applying the Thorns to the other player. So your armor breaks an awful lot faster when you have Thorns applied on top of it. So you don't see Thorns on a lot of PvP armor because it will degrade so fast that you may be in a situation where you don't have armor at all because it totally broke. There you go. I hope you liked my list of trolly Minecraft enchantments, and please go out there and make your friends mad at you by using all of these techniques to troll your friends. Thanks so much for watching this episode of OMG Craft. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a big old thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. And I'll see you next time on OMG Craft. Bye!